So good evening, one and all, you beautiful people. Look at the state of my hair. I've just noticed it on camera. I tell you what, roll on the 12th of bloody April when the hairdressers open again in England anyway. I know you, I think Wales, you lucky sods. Maybe Scotland today, I don't know. I think, did your hairdressers open? I think Wales didn't they? Or it was Scotland, or maybe both. Here in England, though, 12th of April, what have we got? Just a month left. And I found out today, this made me happy. Clocks go forward at the end of this month, something like the 28th of March, which means we end up on British summertime, which means that we get an extra hour of daylight in the evening, and I absolutely bloody cannot wait. Thank you for being here, everybody who is here live. Huge shout out to everybody watching on the replay. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, or you're listening on the Acts on This TV audio experience, as always, come and join us on a Monday night for one of these live sessions. Do them every single Monday, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. We chew the fat about all things acting. I play out clips from some seriously impactful Acts on This.tv member-only mastermind sessions, so even if you are not a member of ActsOnThis.tv, you still get value from these clips that I put out every single week. And we're going to be doing that this evening. And I want to talk about, I'm going to theme tonight, this sounds counterintuitive actually, but I'm going to theme tonight's broadcast around fear, okay, and smashing through it though. Smashing through it, both as a human being in our lives and as actors as well. I don't know about you, right? I felt quite, with what's going on here in the UK at the moment, you guys, Tony Rossi, you know, you are over in the States, but we've had some pretty heavy sort of news in the UK this week. It's really affected the whole nation, I think, in terms of just, I don't know, it's been a tough one. We won't get into the politics of it all and, you know, and all that sort of stuff, but I feel that, like, it's just, again, a pretty heavy time that it can kind of like feed into all aspects of your life. If you focus on everything that's wrong with the world, and there is, let's be honest, right, there's a lot wrong with the world, right, okay, however, there's an awful lot right with the world as well, and I feel at times like this, absolutely we've got to acknowledge what's wrong and try and fix it, but it's almost sort of counterintuitive to fixing it by allowing all of the fear and the negativity around issues like this and just life in general and COVID and the pandemic and everything that's going on and has gone on over the last 12 months. To focus all on that, I don't think sort of solves... Focusing on what's wrong doesn't always solve the problem. It's almost like we've got to focus on solutions to these problems. And I felt definitely over sort of the weekend and today, I don't know, a real air of, sort of depression, if I'm honest. Just kind of like, you know, both. I felt it myself though. I felt quite low today. I was just saying before when I got up on, I got up this morning. When I went to bed last night, I was so pumped, going, "Come on, right, we're going to smash this week out." And then this morning, sort of like I've had like a list of things here to get through. And my energy's been pretty low anyway, for I don't know what reason really, probably just because of the zeitgeist and just the feeling of the country right now. But also then little things have cropped up. People's problems that weren't even my problems, like just little fires I've had to put out. Like we've got loads of stuff going on in the apartment block here. We're getting works done and neighbours are emailing me to fix issues that aren't even my issue. So I feel like I've not really fulfilled my potential today. I'm going to hopefully have a really great broadcast with you guys now. But I've had emails from people as well, DMs from people on social media, and it seems that, you know, fear, whether caused by what's going on at the moment and over this last week or not, I'm not sure if it is correlated. It seems, you know, coincidental if it's not. But it feels like it is seeping into other parts of people's lives right now. And I've had people emailing me today so afraid of, like, again, asking for what they want from this industry, speaking to their agents again, like, you know, like there's a hierarchy there that they're afraid they're going to upset them and they're going to get dropped, even though this person's not doing anything for them, haven't had them auditions in 10 months. People have emailed me today as well, asking in email 1 if they can ask me a question. I always find that fascinating. If you're going to reach out to someone, just ask them a question. I don't think it's productive reaching out to somebody to ask if you can ask a question. It's a waste of an email, and it's also a waste of that person's time replying to that first email to go, yeah, ask me a question, you know, because I could have spent that time saying, yeah, ask me a question to answer your actual question. So again, I don't know if it's all connected or not, but I just feel like fear, again, is stopping people really fulfilling their potential in this industry and outside of it as well. So I'm going to cover that a little bit tonight as we go through this, and ultimately, hopefully, by the end of this, we're all going to feel a little bit more pumped up. So tomorrow we have a better day than we had today. And that's got to always be the goal, isn't it? I was talking to someone the other day about, I don't know the name of the book, but they were saying they were reading a book that was all about, the whole premise of the book was about being 1% better every day. That's it. Just 1% better than you were yesterday. Not a huge task. But obviously, every 100 days, you become 100% better than you were 100 days ago. So I thought it was quite nice. So that's got to be the aim for this month. We've all got to, for the rest of this month, what we got? 2 weeks. Let's see what we can do by the end of March. If we can be at least 16% better than we are today. Right, what I want to do, we'll go into some comments, and then I'm going to start playing out some clips from last week's mastermind session with Jill Halfpenny, and we're going to relate each thing back to fear, and then breaking through the fears around these things that we were talking to Jill about. I don't know if you were here, you guys. I don't know who was on that live call with Jill last week. It was one of the most uplifting, inspirational chats. I think honestly, like we have them every single week with guests, but just like this one in particular, Jill's Baboos, has been a lot recently that have just been like absolute fire sessions where everybody's just been messaging me afterwards going, oh my God, that was just so amazing to hear somebody so successful speak so openly and honestly and really vulnerably. I just thought it was a wicked session. It's taken me a long time to come to the energy of being okay with what is going on around me, says, someone, and then I missed it. Facebook does not play well with comments when you're broadcasting nowadays. You guys hopefully will see them, but for me, there's something in the back end of Facebook that's just not conducive for reading the comments. It overlays them over each other. So apologies if I missed anybody tonight. Josh wants Jill to be his life coach. Well, while we're talking of Jill, let's play a little mashup. Here's 2 minutes of a few things that you missed if you weren't there. If you are a member of actsonthis.tv, the full 2-hour replay of this is in your members area right now. If you're not a member, get over to actsonthis.tv/live, get a membership, because I'm going to show you what you can join us on this week at the end of this broadcast. And if you've ever wanted to be in a Marvel show, Marvel superheroes, you're going to want to be there on a Thursday night. But here's how these work, and here's a little bit of Jill just delivering some absolute fire. And then we're going to break it down, and we're going to go into more detail in a sec. One of my favourite actresses in TV, star of so many incredible shows, including the BAFTA-winning Three Girls, Liar, Dark Money, and of course, Channel 5's most recent thriller, The Drowning. It's the mega-talented Jill Halfpenny. Jill, it's amazing to have you back. How are you? Here's where it all began. As Nicola Dobson in Biker Grove. That's
There she is.
There she is. Who is Jill Halfpenny? How did you get into this crazy business, and sort of like, what's it been like for you so far?
I sort of acted from a very early age. I was doing theatre by the time I was like 10 and 11, like some professional theatre up in the Northeast. I remember coming out of drama school thinking, I wonder what it's like to just be offered things. And like I say, I don't get offered a huge amount, but what I do know is it feels great. It feels like somebody believes in you. And we know in this industry how hard it is to keep believing in yourself.
What techniques can I apply when you've gone from acting to the back of the theatre to just here?
Sometimes people put too much into the words, and they try and really make the words kind of work. And it's this that needs to work.
Is there anything that I can really sort of concentrate on to make myself more noticeable?
Don't shy away from your cast and type. A lot of people try to be as versatile as possible, and what they actually do is make themselves quite bland, and they just make themselves look like a million other people.
Do you have any tips for if you're given sides with not much information?
If it is just a small role and they have just given you like a few bits of sides, just bring as much of you as you can to it. You've got to kind of start to see how people might see you and go, that's where people are going to place me, and get comfortable with that. You're an equal. Even if you've got no experience and the person you're auditioning for is world famous, you're still an equal. You're an equal because you're a person.
Boom! Yes, Jill Halfpenny, smashing it. First thing then to talk about, you're equal because you're a person. The first thing that I think everyone needs to acknowledge in order to help them getting over any fear in their life of inadequacy, of not being good enough, of whatever, like always, just on a human basis, right? Like I completely agree with Jill. You are an equal because you are a person, okay? And really, as you get older and you go through life, and this was a quote Steve Jobs says that I always come back to. I've mentioned this time and time and time again. I'm sure you'll be bored of it if you've been on enough of these broadcasts. I always mention this, but I'm like, look, he said, when you realize that all the rules around you, were made up, and that includes this industry, were made up by people no smarter, no better than you, basically, then your life will never be the same because you can influence it and you can change that. And I think there is a learned helplessness sometimes within our industry that is like agents are better than me and that they're smarter than me, casting directors are better than me and they're smarter than me, other actors are better than me and they're smarter than me. And it's like, no, you are an equal, okay? It's obviously, people can be more experienced than you, or they may be more skilled than you, but they're not better than you. They're not a better person than you. And they're not, anything to kind of feel inadequate about. Like, we are all equal because we are all people. And our goals ultimately in this industry are all the same, aren't they? We just want to work. We want to get better. We want to create fantastic TV or film or theatre, whatever your bag is. So I just thought that was a cracking line from Jill there. It wasn't rehearsed. That was just completely natural. I always ask at the end of all of these broadcasts, what's the one thing you wish, for every actor to take away from tonight, or, to just that you wish they would know. And that was Jill's thing. So there were 3 clips within that I'm going to expand on tonight, and again we're going to look at some of the fears actors have, and then Jill's advice for that. And the first thing that I'm going to look at, again I'll come to your comments in a second, guys, is fears around emotional scenes as an actor. Who sort of who here questions themselves when they maybe you get an audition and you're like, yes, and then you look at it and you go, oh my god, this actually, the scene for the audition is maybe a big scene, it's maybe an emotional scene. Maybe you think instantly when there's an emotional scene, oh my god, I have to cry, which obviously you don't, but a lot of people do label scenes as this is the crying scene, when it's not. If the tears come, if you're emotionally deeply connected to the script, that's all that really matters. We don't always cry in life when there is something emotional going on. But who gets a little bit afraid of that if you're like, right, okay, you've got this, you've got this scene coming up, it's a big one, maybe it's for a showreel scene or a short film, or maybe it's a TV job. And then you're really excited about it, you get it, and then when you get it, you go, oh my God, can I do it? And you stop kind of believing as much in yourself as you probably should. Let us know what your take on this is, and also how you deal with these scenes. I'm going to play Jill's advice in a second for dealing with emotional scenes, because I think it's really, really good. And it all comes down to asking for what you need on set in order to be able to deliver that emotional scene. And again, there are fears normally around that because people feel that they have to be at a certain level before they can ask for what they want, and it's not the case. I'll come back to Babu Cisse. I always keep going back to this guy, but he's just awesome. He was like, listen, people believe they have to be of a certain level before they can ask for space. And he's like, that's nonsense. You are already at that level. And again, it comes back to what Jill said. You're at that level because you're a person. You're an equal because you're a person. If you need something on set, in order to get quiet, get in your head, get in the zone, in order to be able to deliver a performance, you must ask for that. If people are around you joking around and laughing and mucking around, and you're supposed to be, sort of get into a headspace where you can deliver serious emotion, you need to not be afraid and fearful of asking for that thing that you want. Only type of scenes I feel safe with, weirdly enough, says Alicia. It's funny, isn't it? Some people fear comedy, Alicia. How are you with comedy? Some people fear that more than they do the sort of the drama, because they feel like, it's more subtle. There's not as much to get your teeth into, I guess. I think that was such a great point that Jill made, holding the tears back. We're going to play this in a second, Eleanor. Yeah, I'm going to play the full clip of this. Imposter syndrome, says Gordon. James Gordon. Yeah, man. Oh, it's real. Absolutely real. Are we doing, Kelly? Hope you are good. Right, okay, well, I'm going to play this. This is Jill's advice, and I think this is brilliant advice, and I think it's real... I think it's really true to life in terms of if you approach emotional scenes in this way, because very often we don't want to show emotion in real life, and that's obviously sometimes for me that's sometimes the most heartbreaking thing to see as a viewer when I'm watching someone, whether they're acting or it's a real life thing, where you just want to really reach out to someone and just hug them or whatever. You can't do that with COVID. when someone is trying not to be emotional, but they're sort of breaking, and then they're trying to hold it back, and they're pulling it back, and then it's breaking them again, and they're pulling it back. It's not like, it's very often not the case where we see people completely break down. This is Jill's take on it, and I agree with every word. But let me know what you think in the comments. What advice would you have for people when it is that raw emotion, like in terms of just getting ready for a shoot like that?
This is so personal. Everybody has such a different way of doing it, but the way I would do it, in terms of the way I did do it for Jodie, is that, I mean, it's really horrible because I basically just have to go to places in my head that make me feel deeply uncomfortable and deeply upset. It's a bit methody.
Yeah.
And you go there and it's like, the best way for me to describe it is like, I sort of bring it up to about here, and then I kind of hold it there for as long as possible. I'll say to the director, how long's the setup? How long have we got? I'm going to go in the corner, or I'm going to go into another room, or I'm going to put some headphones on, whatever it is people do. I do different things each time. And then I will hold it, and then I will also say to the first, don't shout at me, or don't say, we're ready, let's go, or action. Give me a little tap on the shoulder, or just poke me. I'll just turn around, and then I'll know that we're going. That's the most simple way I can describe it. I sort of let it all churn up, and I literally bring it up, and then I hold it so that I can play the scene, and whenever it is that I want to release it, or actually probably the best thing to do in those scenes is you to actually try and keep it in. Because most people, when they're crying, they're really trying to keep it in. Sometimes, obviously, you can't help it, and it comes out. But that's what I do. I sort of keep letting it sort of come up, come down, come up, come down, and just see where I go with it, really. And I just try and make it different every time. I have to, for me. I have to do that for me. It's too dull if I don't,
That's on this.tv if you want to watch the full 2-hour interview with Jill. But yeah, I just thought that was a wicked, really, really good tip. And it's what I've always tried to do in the past. And I've never really spoken about it. But it's not about those scenes where, tears come or not, they don't always have to. It's not about trying to cry a lot of the time. A lot of it is about trying not to cry. And sort of, playing that emotion as opposed to, right, there you go, I'm going to show you all I can cry. I'm a real actor. Oh, yeah, I can cry on demand. It's not always appropriate. So I just thought it was really, really interesting. Let us know what you think in the comments, though, because then it also takes the pressure off as well of thinking, right, I have to. You don't. You've got to be deeply connected to what you're talking about. Get in that headspace, bring that emotion up. But, if it happens, it happens. Astrid says, I know I can easily access emotion, but I'm more worried about continuity when doing 10 or more takes for lots of different camera angles, e.g. I might get close to tears earlier, later in the scene. So what you would do there, yeah, absolutely, Astrid. So that's really important. So if you are shooting a scene where, you have something really emotional in it, if it's a single camera drama, they will often shoot it from different sides at different times. So if it's multicam, then it doesn't matter. It's being caught at all angles, and it's generally just a one-take kind of thing. If it's single cam for a high-end drama, very often it will be done on single camera. So it'll be done on the other person you're speaking to. We're going to get their close-up. We're going to get your close-up. We're going to get a two-shot. We're going to get an establishing shot. And obviously you perform from each of these, these angles. Ideally, you would want them to take the emotion, like when you hit it really hard, from your close-up. So you would ideally either ask to do that first. So you're like, actually, you know what? So then you might have 2 or 3 takes of that where those tears are there if they're required. And then after a bit, yeah, I've had that where, sort of 3 or 4 takes in, you're like, actually, right, okay, could do with a little bit, bit of help here in terms of maybe, you're running out of tears, so you're all cried out. So you don't want to get to that point, giving it the other person while the camera's on their close up, and then they go, right, we're going to do your close up now, and you go, oh right, I'm all cried out. I've just cried my eyes out for the last 6 takes, and now I have nothing left. So again, Don't be afraid. All comes out of fear again, doesn't it? Don't be afraid of asking or working with the directors to go, right, how are we going to do this? And at what point do you really want me to go for it? And at what point can I hold it back a little bit? I've still got to give enough to the other person because that's selfish not to. They've got to have a great performance. The better you are, the better they're going to be without completely sabotaging your own close-up, I guess. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. But I just like the idea of going, look, let's play it where I'm trying not to break down because I think that's more impactful for the viewer. And they feel way, way deeper for you when they see that. You always see that in news conferences if someone's about to go and they stop for a second and they sort of like it hits them, they go, and they just that breath kind of that comes and gets them where they just stop for a sec. I think that's quite impactful. It's quite emotional when you see somebody go through that. So that was the first little clip from Jill. Got two more crackers to play out. Ahmed says, how would you find auditions and gain more experience whilst taking acting lessons? Really, I mean, God, there's loads of places. It would really be getting involved in student productions. If you're brand new, Ahmad, and you're looking for, for stuff at the start of your career, it would be, working with students at universities, drama schools, getting involved in anything that they're doing around making their own stuff, student productions, Facebook groups, always have the actsonthis.tv Facebook group. We've always got people in there posting stuff about, collaborating with each other. People are writing scripts, filming their own stuff. They're looking for actors to get involved. There's dozens of Facebook groups for filmmaking you should get involved with. Other things are like sites like Mandy, sites like casting networks. You wouldn't be able to get on Spotlight yet if you've not got 4 professional credits, but you've got to kind of work up to that. And the other thing is writing your own stuff and shooting your own stuff. Marcelo, how you doing, dude? Something that's really helped me with those difficult stage directions or written action is remembering there are 1,000 ways to be distraught or shocked or to grieve. Man, 100%. I remember vividly the phone call I got to tell me my dad had died, mate. I didn't take it, actually, my mum took it. And none of us were expecting it, right? None of us were expecting this call. If I'd have got it in a script before it had happened to me, I know I would have gone completely over the top, probably tears, all this sort of stuff that you would imagine must happen when you're told news like that. It was the most surreal experience of my life. I almost kind of it was a surprise, but my dad had a heart attack in the morning and he was in hospital. He was getting moved to a different ward and we thought we were going to get the phone call to say what ward he'd been moved to, and we didn't. We got the call to say, unfortunately, he died, man. He'd had 2 other heart attacks. It was awful. It kind of it came out of the blue, but I almost half expected it in a way. But even so, it was a massive, massive shock. And all I can describe it as is somebody punching you so hard in the stomach that all the wind and your breath just goes completely. I went completely numb. And I walked out the house, almost an autopilot, and I just sat on the gate, completely stunned. No tears for a while. No tears at all for quite a long time till I'd been at the hospital and I'd seen my dad. And then it was when we'd got back and I just had to go for a walk on my own for hours. And I would have played it so obviously before I'd had that experience. And I maybe have thought if I'd have seen someone playing it how I actually ended up, that's not very realistic, is it? But there are obviously, mate, I completely agree. There are hundreds of ways that people show emotion that's completely unique to them. People show positive emotions so differently. Love can be expressed in so many different ways that isn't touchy-feely, huggy, kissy kind of stuff. And these are these love languages that we learn as we go through life, and that can really screw relationships up when they're not talked about. Because actually, you think because you show your love that way, everyone has to show their love that way, or you show you're upset that way, everyone shows they're upset that way. It's not the case, mate. So that's the thing. It's about sometimes not thinking about what the obvious thing is, what you should be doing. I feel it's kind of in those scenes, it's look, I'm playing this like it's for real. What happens in that scene happens in that scene. I'm not going to force something or say on this line and this word, a tear. You see that in stage direction sometimes. A single tear rolls down his cheek and you're like, well, that's obviously going to have to be done with tear stick unless I'm an absolute genius where you go, on that absolute word there, I blink and woof, there you go. Even if you're crying, it's so hard to time the tears down your cheek. I don't think you need to put the pressure on yourself when it's right, I have to do it this way. And particularly, Chris, what you're saying about public, in reality, if we cry in public, we always try and hold back the tears. Absolutely. I've had conversations with people in coffee shops before where they've started to cry. And the thing that they're trying to do more than anything is not to cry. And that's those moments where you're looking around and that you feel so desperate for this person. Because, oh my God, like you're breaking down in front of me. You try to hold it together. It's way more impactful than if they just went, oh. So it is interesting. Yeah, don't put pressure on yourselves for it to be a specific, a specific way. It just happens. Whatever happens. We usually respond when we act in ways we would never respond in. Yeah, that's it, Marcelo. Exactly. So sometimes we act in ways we would never. I see it all the time. I watch a self tape, and I just go, I don't believe you at all, because we don't do that in real life. I love it when I see people doing monologues, because for me, like, they just make or break a performance. Like, they're so easy to get wrong, because there's so much temptation for self-indulgence in a monologue where you go quiet for a second and think on your thoughts, and then they release this breath. Everybody, like, I see it so often, they release this breath through the nose whilst they've really forgotten their lines, I think, and they're thinking of the next thing, but they just go. It's like, no, we don't do that. We never do that in real life, ever. So why are you doing it in a performance? It just doesn't work, right? Even when you're silent, you don't do that. If you're going to go quiet, just go quiet. You don't have to sort of comment on your own words like people do in a monologue. It's just really self-indulgent. It's my opinion anyway. I think that probably sounds quite brutal, but it is just what I see. I see it a lot. I think, no, you've just wrecked it. You're doing so well, but now you've just got caught up in yourself. It's an interesting one. Equally, I've seen some fantastic monologues recently where none of that happens. Emotionally, so physical. When I lost a school friend, I remember feeling like I had lead in my shoes and my heart felt heavy. So yeah, absolutely. But pain, absolutely. In my experience, on a couple of occasions in my life, absolutely, emotional pain feels physical. Like, if anyone's been through heartbreak, man, like, it's awful. It's like the worst. It's absolutely the worst. And it absolutely manifests itself almost like a physical pain in your chest. You're like, oh my God, you have ripped out my heart and stamped all over it. Like, I can't deal with this. Right. So let's get back on track on some more positivity. The next clip I'm going to play, and again, this kind of like comes to around fear as well and limiting beliefs and bullshit in people's heads. This was a great question. And what a great name Bongi asked in our community around moving from theatre into television and bringing a theatrical performance down to the level required for camera and for film. Something that, like, I had to learn all over again when I left drama school, because drama school focused me for 3 years on theatre, and it gave me just 1 week on TV as a bit of an afterthought, and I only wanted to work in TV. I was like, brilliant, I've just spent all this money and I've got 1 week of training that I actually wanted. But I found some great TV acting classes when I left drama school and had to relearn ultimately how to act, to be honest with you. Forget the degree, throw it away. I'm only kidding. It was a super valuable experience, but I just wanted to work on TV. Now I see a lot of actors so afraid that they're too big for TV. Oh, I'm a theatre actor. I've come from musical theatre or the West End. Like, oh, TV, I'm just not a TV actor. Yes, you are. And equally, TV actors, you're theatre actors as well, if you want to do that. Like, you are absolutely capable of doing that. And you should, if you want to focus on one or the other, that's cool. If you want to focus on both, bloody go for it. But this is Jill's advice to Bongi on bringing that performance down and just making it more suitable for TV. Again, I think it's cracking advice.
What techniques can I apply when you've gone from acting to the back of the theatre to just here?
I hear a lot from people who've done a lot of theatre. Oh, I'm too big when I go into TV auditions. But I've been watching you for the last however many minutes we've been talking. And when you were asking me that question, your face is not super animated. So I think that there's a mindset of people that have done a lot of theatre that they think they're like this and it's like, you're actually not. I think people get it in their heads that they think they're doing more than they are. So just relax. Film is very much about an internalized world. Film is very much about looking into somebody's eyes and carrying at least quite often 5 or 6 things all at the same time. Somebody, when I'm thinking now, when I'm talking to you, I'm not just thinking one thing. I'm saying one thing to you and I'm thinking, oh, there's that. So there's a million things going on. That sounds like maybe too complicated, but it's not, because as a human being, that's what you do all the time. So when you're auditioning, bring an internal life and then let the words speak for themselves. Sometimes people put too much into the words and they try and really make the words kind of work. And it's this that needs to work.
Boosh! And some cracking advice. I think it is all in people's heads. It's such a great moment when Jill was like, I've just been speaking to you for like the last 3 or 4 minutes, and there's nothing like over the top or big about you at all. Just don't act. Basically, it's cliched, isn't it? But the key to acting is just not to act, really. But yeah, I just don't want that to be a fear of anybody's. If they have trained in theatre, maybe that's all you did. I've seen a lot of people, which has been amazing actually, because that takes a lot of courage. A lot of people who have, since obviously theatre has been hit so hard with COVID, have gone, right, well, I'm actually, I'm going from musical theatre. That's where I've been. I was as a dancer and a singer, just as much as an actor in the West End. But because obviously that's all kind of done for now, hopefully that'll open up again, by the end of the year. That they've gone, right, well, I have to now focus on film and screen and TV. And I don't want them to feel insecure about that and go, right, well, I'm a theatre actor. No, you're not. You're an actor before you're anything. You don't have to put a label on that. So yeah, bring it down, chill. Let the eyes do the work. It's amazing how did an exercise once at Act for TV. Shout out to Michael Jackson, king of casting, not the king of pop. Shout out to the king of pop as well, though. He was an absolute hero of mine growing up. We did an exercise that was just on close-ups and eye lines, and you should do this as an exercise. Film yourself as if you were doing like in a close-up, just as if you're having dialogue with somebody, and then what you want to do in terms of, obviously you would normally be looking at them and you'd be looking in their eyes, and a tip Michael Caine taught as well, which is pretty good, is to stop on a close-up, your eyes looking left and right, because often we make eye contact with people in each eye, different eyes, so our eyes will flit from one eye to the other. That can come across as nervousness on screen. If you're on a close-up, they're like, why is his eyes flicking? He says, listen, just focus on the eye nearest the camera, so that and just focus on one, and you're just staring into that eye, so that, if you want to come across confident anyway, then your eyes aren't all over the place. But the thing we did at CV was just the power of an eye flick that was looking over the person's shoulder you were talking to. And on a stage, it wouldn't even be registered, would it? No one is even going to see it. But on screen, on a close-up, it looks massive. A flick of just a centimetre, probably not even that, half a centimetre, as your eye moves just to I'm looking at the camera now, and then I move to the right. And it registered when you watched it back as, oh my God, someone's coming up behind that person is going to knock them out or something like that. Because their attention had gone from the person they're speaking to bump behind them. It just made it look so massive. So your eyes are so powerful, hugely, hugely powerful, and can tell a lot without saying anything, purely from where they're looking. If you've not watched Michael Caine's, what's it called? Secrets of Screen Acting or something. I think it was like a VHS probably at some point when it came out. But it's on YouTube. I think someone put a link in the comments if you can. It is something like Michael Caine's Secrets of Screen Acting or something like that. But it is a really good. Take care, Kelly. Kelly says she's got a bounce. But yeah, it's a really, really good little sort of crash course on screen acting with the ledge that is Mr. Caine. I've got one more clip to play, which is, this is just interesting. This is the fear around not embracing other parts of your life ultimately, for fear that they might encroach on your acting career. There is an age-old adage, isn't there, of want to book an acting job? Book a holiday. And it's, you know what? I don't know what's in it, but this has been a real thing for, so many actors I've interviewed as well on actonthis.tv have said this. Danny Miller, one who springs to mind, when he got his Emmerdale audition, obviously, it's been the career, the job that has made his career, basically. He got that audition as he was on holiday, had to fly home early, I think. But quite a few people have said that they were, on holiday. Dan Ryan was on holiday when he got the audition for The Bay, wasn't he? We just had that chat a couple of weeks ago with Dan. It really does seem like a thing. If you are struggling, Reed, good evening. If you are struggling for auditions, go book a holiday. Thanks for putting the YouTube link in there, Yvonne. Yvonne's put the YouTube link for the Michael Caine thing. Yeah, if you want to get an audition, if the auditions are dry, just book a holiday. Jab and go. What a ridiculous advert, Ryanair. Jab and go. I think they were made to take that down. Once you've had your vaccine, go on holiday or book a holiday, and you'll probably get 10 auditions. But the thing is here, and this has been a huge part of my life. I know I have held back, being completely honest and vulnerable here, I have absolutely held back from embracing certain areas of my life outside of my acting career for fear I will miss out on opportunity in my acting career. And a lot of the time, those opportunities I haven't missed out on. I could have done that thing, but I held back, whether it was a trip, a holiday, a conference, just whatever. I have definitely sort of denied myself joy and pleasure in other areas because I've thought, I'll have to take this opportunity, or what if that comes up, or this comes up, or that comes up. And I don't think as I get older it's congruent. I think we should be more balanced than that. But as you're going to hear in this clip from Jill, when it is like a passion and an obsession, it's really freaking hard. It's really hard, isn't it, to sort of not be like that, particularly because I guess we're conditioned to think, well, not just think, sometimes experience, opportunities sometimes aren't always there. This is Jill's real truth here, though, and I'm going to start asking, this is the first time I've asked this question in quite a while, but I'm going to ask it a lot more to our guests every week. We always, like to see these people as having the careers that we want and the lives that we want, etc., etc. And I'm going to start asking people, listen, why would I not want to be you? Because I think that's just as a valuable question as, as sort of like what's great about your life. Why would I not want to live the life you're living? Let's get some super, super honest answers. Jill was great, and here is her answer to that question. Why wouldn't someone want to be you?
I never feel like I can fully look forward to something, because whenever I book anything,
oh, boom,
you get a job. That's the other thing that people don't understand. They'll say, well, you can choose. And it's like, I know I can choose, but you don't understand how long we wait to work. And when it comes to us, there is a definite feeling in our industry of coming from a place of lack.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like we're coming from a place where, oh my God, I've just got so much work, I don't know what to do with it. So when somebody offers you an opportunity, you can't help but project and go, yeah, because that could lead to that, or I could meet that person, or whatever. Now, it's all projection and it's all made up, and we really don't know, but it's hard for us because it's a passion. What did I read the other day? Those who search outwards dream. Those who search inwards awaken.
Wow.
And there is very much something, about that I think that's where, as I've got older, that's the sort of balance that you need, where you can be ambitious, you can want certain things, but you have to try and be happy with where you're at.
Yep. Because
if you're not, you're always going to be waiting for the destination. When I get there, I'll be happy. When I have that job, everything will be fine. It doesn't work like that. And as we know, when we get jobs, they generally only last 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen after the 3 months? You're just going to go right back to how you felt. You have to become content with the person that you are when you're not acting. Somebody said to me, like when I was in my 20s, Jill, don't let your work define you, because it will make you unhappy. And it's a really good piece of advice.
Boom. And you know what? After a year of us all like being forcibly not allowed to go on holiday, I reckon a lot of us will decide to book that plane ticket when we are indeed allowed. It'll probably make that decision a little bit easier for you. But yeah, it was just I related a lot to that part of the conversation we were having with Jill, because I know I have definitely done that. I've held back. I've not gone to places. I've not done stuff with my friends, for either fear of something coming up around that time that I couldn't commit to, or, taking a job for the sake of taking a job that I didn't necessarily even, I don't know, not want to do. Like, I guess we all want to work, but there's some things that I know I've definitely said yes to, purely because I've just thought, oh, maybe it'll lead to that, or that person might work with that person or whatever, when really I wanted to do this other thing. One thing, do you know what? One thing did come up once. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember what it was. I really wanted to go to a conference in London to meet a guy called Lewis Howes, who is, if you've not heard his podcast, The School of Greatness, it's an incredible podcast. And I've been listening to it for years, literally probably, I don't know, since 2013, 2014, something like that. And he was going to appear headlining a conference in London. And I'm trying to think what happened, but I got a job offer. It was just, I don't know what it wasn't. It was just a day player, but it was on. I wish I could remember what this was. It's going back a few years, but I remember thinking, it was on one of the soaps. I remember thinking, I've done this type of role 6 or 7 times, and whilst I love it, and it would be money, it's not going to give me a different experience or even necessarily a different outcome, because it would count me out of being in the soap as anything bigger anyway for like 12 months or something like that. I remember thinking, right, well, you can take the money and you can please the casting director and you can please your agent, or you can forfeit that. You can absolutely follow your gut and follow your heart and follow your instinct, because this guy, Lewis, had made a huge impact in my life and I just wanted to meet him and I knew I'd be able to. And you can choose to do that, and you can please yourself and not please everybody else. I remember umming and ahhing about it, but only for a few minutes, because my heart already knew what the answer was going to be. And I very politely explained that, and I had already booked, I'd booked the hotel and I'd booked the train tickets and stuff. So I was already about 300 quid in, in expenses already spent that I wouldn't get back. It was non-refundable. So I wouldn't make loads of money or anything like that. I remember how good it felt to say, thank you so much, but not on this occasion. I'm gonna follow truly my heart's desire. And it was just a tiny little taste of that. It wasn't a big thing. It was 2 days in London. It's not like going, right, I'm gonna whisk myself off for 2 weeks in somewhere sunny. But it did feel good to actually say yes to myself and my overall joy and fulfillment, not just my career. Because I knew, although it was tempting to get that job, and maybe I'd have met a director on it and it could have led to this, or I might have met an actor on it, I could have done that, or maybe I'd have met a few people that could have done acts on this features with me and that sort of stuff, which is where our head goes, what if? I followed what I actually really wanted to do, and I did meet Lewis, and it was incredible. I was very, very, very happy to have had that experience. So, yeah, I can vouch for that sometimes. Say yes to yourself, as opposed to just saying yes to everybody else. Am I still here? Some people are saying that I've gone. Oh, hang on a second. It's saying that I've got. Oh, what's going on here? It did this last time. I think there's dodgy servers. Hang on. Hopefully I'm back. Let me know if I'm back. It's showing me that I've got a green signal. Am I back? Is he back? Hopefully I'm back. I look like I'm back. Oh, at what point did it cut out? I was telling a really good story then. He's back. Yes. Sorry about that. I don't know what part of the story I got up to. I was telling the story about how I said no to a job. Ultimately, the long story short is I said no to a job. I said yes to myself, and it felt great. And it was only 2 days in London, but it was good. And it was a lesson learned. So hopefully, hopefully you got the gist of that anyway. And my connection didn't even go at this end. It's still showing green and full on. I think Facebook servers sometimes, it's happened on like 3 broadcasts I've done in the last 2 weeks where we've had a little bit of issue connection-wise. But I was going slow motion for a second. You're hearing Liverpool all along. Nice one, Reed. Facebook's Liverpool servers are clearly... absolutely going strong. Those people on the recording, you won't be affected by this whatsoever, so you'll be like, hurry up, just get on with it. So that was a little story there. So try and get that balance. Don't be afraid of saying yes to yourself. You don't have to say yes to everybody else, because you are, by default, whenever you say yes, you are saying no to something else. And when you say no, you are saying yes to something else. And And then, you know what? And do you know what the lovely thing about life is as well? What I like about it is you will never know what the alternative was. You'll just never know. So why focus on it? It's not like, and maybe one day, maybe you'll get to heaven if it exists, and they'll go, right, Julie, Wayne, right, you can, let's play out all the decisions you made in your life, and let's, if you would have stayed with that person, or you would have said yes to this job, let's see where your life would have gone. And maybe at that point you'll get to go, oh, okay, if I'd have done that, this would have happened. But we'll never know otherwise. So, I mean, that's really great, isn't it, in a way? That's such a great thing, because it's like, don't make things up in your head that if you'd have done that, your life would have been better. If you'd have done that, you don't know, you might have been hit by a bus on the way there. Like, you'll never know that. Just focus on the decisions you have made. And if you do say yes to that holiday, freaking enjoy the holiday. Don't sit on holiday thinking, oh, if I'd have just stayed at home, maybe I'd have got a call or I'd have just done this. Be present in whatever decision you make and forget the other one, because you will never, ever know what was going to happen if you'd have done that other thing. Because I think that robs people. They say reluctantly, they say yes to themselves, and then whilst they're doing that thing, they're never fully present, so they don't actually enjoy it. They may as well have just said no and stayed at home. So don't be that person. Right, this Thursday night, anyone here a fan of Marvel? Anybody want to be in a Marvel TV show, Marvel film? Anyone want to be in the Marvel universe, in the MCU? I don't know an awful lot about Marvel and DC, bar what Petch tells me, because he is an absolute fanatic. Obviously, his dream role ever is to be Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland has got something to say about that. I can see Astrid saying me. I love MCU. Everyone, Ackman says, yeah. Well, this Thursday night, for all members of actonthis.tv, we have an incredible actress from Sheffield, who went over to the States, gave herself a finite amount of time to smash it, and did so after 1 year, landing the role of an incredible character called Gemma Simmons in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She ended up doing 7 seasons of that show. It was incredible. It was massive. She's now currently, I think, will just finish filming something called Suspicion, which is a new Uma Thurman drama for Apple TV Plus, I think. I auditioned for it. Didn't get the part. Excellent. Look at what you could have won. But that's another incredible show she's gone on to do after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But yeah, Elizabeth Henstridge is the actress that we've got coming on this Thursday night. Shout out to Lawrence Russell, part of the actonthis.tv community, who made this introduction for me with Elizabeth. He went to drama school with her. I think East 15 many years ago. I think Elizabeth just did a year there before she went out to LA. Such an incredible actress, a lovely girl. Really switched on in terms of using social media to leverage her career as well, build a career. She vlogs, she podcasts, and she's just lovely, like just so like open and honest, and super vulnerable about just sharing her entire journey about how she made the leap across the pond. Everything that she did, we're going to be talking about on Thursday night to get the audition for Marvel, how it all works, and we're even going to watch her 2 screen tests. She's going to take us through them on Thursday night as well, to explain sort of like how she prepped for it and what she was doing. The screen tests really are phenomenal. Like, she plays a biochemist, like a super genius biochemist is Gemma Simmons. And the language that is just thrown around in the scripts as if it's just everyday language is just incredible. Like, it's so complex. And Elizabeth just dealt with it throughout the whole series, just like as if it was just nothing. Because it would be for a biochemist. But here's a little trailer. If you want to get involved in this, if you're not a member of actonthis.tv, just get a membership at actonthis.tv/live if you want to see the full calendar. We do this every single week on a Tuesday or a Thursday with the top casting director, agent, actor, writer, producer. Real next level people. But this is a little trailer of what we're going to be talking about. I want to see you there. Actors, I am back with yet another invite for you guys to another incredible actonthis.tv live mastermind session. This time, it's taking place on Thursday, the 18th of March at 7:30 p.m. with this amazing woman here, star of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., playing genius biochemist Gemma Simmons. It's actress Elizabeth Henstridge. Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us. What on earth are we going to be chatting about on Thursday night?
Oh
my gosh, what aren't we chatting about? I mean, my journey to Hollywood and acting, directing, podcasting, YouTubing. And I think we'll just see what people want to know as well, and we'll answer people's questions.
Absolutely. Literally, we're going to cover it all, folks. All right. If you want to get involved in this, okay, maybe you are Marvel mad. You want to jump on camera. You want to have a little one-to-one with Elizabeth. Ask anything you like on your acting career, auditioning, moving from UK to working in LA, whatever you want, anything that we can help you with to help you get further in your career faster. Come and get involved. Get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved in this session and all future sessions. We do this every single week on a Tuesday or a Thursday with a top actor, agent, casting director, writer, producer. Get yourself over and get involved. Elizabeth, a little bit of pressure. I ask every guest who does these trailers with me this question. Why don't actors want to miss this one in particular?
Because I'm going to be so honest. I'm going to tell you all the things that I wish I had known way back in the day when I started. And I want you to succeed. So I'm going to share all my secrets with you.
Amazing. Also, I'll say this. Come and learn about a different type of agent for once actors, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. actonthis.tv/live. actonthis.tv/live if you do indeed want to come and learn about a different type of agent for once, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm going to get a real education as well on Marvel, because I honestly, I know so little about it bar what I've seen of Elizabeth in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and what Petch has shown me. And I've seen a bit of Spider-Man, obviously, over the years, but maybe we'll get Petch on camera for once. He never jumps on camera, does he? Maybe we'll get Petch on to do some sort of Marvel quiz against Elizabeth. See who knows more. I bet Petch is obsessed. I bet Petch knows every single thing about Marvel, even more than people who are in Marvel. But that's going to be this Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Do come and join us. It will be a cracker. actonthis.tv/live. It's on your screen right now, somewhere over here. If you do want to get involved, and like I say, we do that every single week. And in the archive, if you did get a membership, you would unlock, 300 hours worth of previous mastermind sessions with the biggest agents, biggest actors, casting directors, writers, producers, and directors in TV. So that kind of just about wraps it up. We've got about 2 minutes left. If anybody's got any little questions. Chris says, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is amazing. I am literally a fanboy. Chris, there you go. We'll get you. We'll get you on if you've got a Marvel question. Get think of your questions now. Get some quality questions together, folks. Obviously going to bring the people on camera who've got their best questions. Yes, get Petch on, says Liz. Yeah, we'll get Petch on as Spider-Man. I just go, Spider-Man's here. Here he is. He's having Petch has genuinely got a proper full-on Spider-Man outfit, though. He's a bit obsessed, isn't he? We'll do that, though. I think it'll be a little treat for him. Let's treat Petch to a nice question with Elizabeth. I'll have to wait for the replay. Rachel, you have to get the replay. The replay will be up probably on Friday afternoon. I'm still waiting on news if we can upload the replay of Kate Morrison's session, by the way, from B-Side Management. A few people have been asking about that. There's just a few things around the agency that just need to sort of get ironed out before they're happy for me to upload the replay. Nothing to do with the replay. That's fine, but there's just whilst the agency's getting set up and a few things are happening that I don't know a lot about and I'm not privy to, I've got the recording ready to go as soon as I get permission. So if you didn't get that one, you really wanted to watch that one, I'm still hoping I can upload it, but I will keep you guys posted. Linda says, what is Marvel? Linda, you're pretty much not far away from my knowledge of Marvel, the comic world. Spider-Man, all of the Marvel superheroes, Iron Man, all those crazy characters. But yeah, that's funny. Frozen again. Now, unfortunately, at this part of the stream, Facebook kicked me off, and I was unable to get back on. So for everybody watching on the replay, thanks. It's an exclusive little bit with just me and you. Everybody else has gone now. I'm going to finish tonight's broadcast with the mashup of Jill again. Yeah, if you want to go and watch the full mastermind session with Jill, or indeed if you want to catch up on the mastermind with Elizabeth Henstridge, if you have missed it, if it's not the 18th of March yet, get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live to get the full, get a membership. Yeah, what we're talking about. Get a membership before the 18th of March, and you can join us for the for the session. If it's after the 18th of March, get a membership and you can watch the replay. It will be in the members area. But thank you so much for watching. Lots of love to everybody, and I will catch up with you again on a live broadcast next Monday, where hopefully we don't have the Facebook connection issues. Until then, bye for now. One of my favourite actresses in TV, star of so many incredible shows, including the BAFTA-winning Three Girls, Liar, Dark Money, and of course, Channel 5's most recent thriller, The Drowning. It's the mega-talented Jill Halfpenny. Jill, it's amazing to have you back. How are you? Here's where it all began, as Nicola Dobson in Biker Grove. That's
There she is.
There she is.
She is.
Who is Jill Halfpenny? How did you get into this crazy business, and sort of like, what's it been like for you so far?
I sort of acted from a very early age. I was doing theatre by the time I was like 10 and 11, like some professional theatre up in the Northeast. I remember coming out of drama school thinking, I wonder what it's like to just be offered things. And like I say, I don't get offered a huge amount, but what I do know is it feels great. It feels like somebody believes in you. And we know in this industry how hard it is to keep believing in yourself.
What techniques can I apply when you've gone from acting to the back of the theatre to just here?
Sometimes people put too much into the words and they try and really make the words kind of work, and it's this that needs to work.
Is there anything that I can really sort of concentrate on to make myself more noticeable?
Don't shy away from your cast and type. A lot of people try to be as versatile as possible. And what they actually do is make themselves quite bland, and they just make themselves look like a million other people.
Do you have any tips for if you're given sides with not much information?
If it is just a small role and they have just given you like a few bits of sides, just bring as much of you as you can to it. You've got to kind of start to see how people might see you and go, that's where people are going to place me, and get comfortable with that. You're an equal. Even if you've got no experience and the person you're auditioning for is world famous, you're still an equal. You're an equal because you're a person.